Some of you feel exhausted, and you don't even know why. You're trying to improve your life. You watch productivity videos. You train at the gym. You look for better opportunities. But every week there's a new trend telling you you're already behind. A new hustle strategy. A new mindset rule. A new shortcut to success. And if you follow enough of them, something strange happens. You start working harder than ever. But your soul feels more restless than before. King Solomon warned about this thousands of years ago. He called it something that sounds strange at first. Chasing after the wind. And once you understand what he meant, you'll realize why so many modern lives feel quietly empty. The modern world runs on a cycle of constant stimulation. Every day you're exposed to people who seem to be winning faster, growing faster, living better. Your brain receives thousands of signals telling you you should be doing more. But the strange part is this. Even when you're constantly learning, even when you're constantly improving, you still feel like you're losing ground. That's not accidental. It's how the system is designed. The algorithm rewards newness, not stability. So the moment something works, the world immediately moves on to the next thing. Which means if your identity is tied to trends, you will always feel late. Thousands of years ago, King Solomon explored the same cycle. He pursued knowledge, wealth, pleasure, success. And after experiencing more opportunity than almost anyone in history, he wrote a strange conclusion. Everything is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. At first, that sounds depressing. But Solomon wasn't saying life has no value. He was saying something else. Most people are chasing things that were never meant to satisfy the soul. In Ecclesiastes chapter 3, Solomon explains something most people forget. Life doesn't move in a straight upward line. It moves in seasons.
There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather them. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to search and a time to give up. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to mend. A time to be silent and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time for war and a time for peace.
But modern culture tells you something completely different. It says every season should look like success, constant growth, constant momentum, constant achievement. So when life slows down, we assume something must be wrong. But what if nothing is wrong? What if you're simply in a different season? One of the most powerful forces in modern life is the fear of missing out. FOMO convinces us that something important is always happening somewhere else. Someone is making money. Someone is building influence. Someone is getting ahead. And if we aren't part of that moment, we feel like we're falling behind. But Solomon described this thousands of years ago. He called it vanity, something temporary, something that looks important, but fades quickly. And when we chase those temporary moments long enough, we trade something far more valuable, our peace. So how do you step out of this cycle? First, you stop measuring your life by moments. You measure it by formation. Instead of asking, what trend should I follow? Ask, what season am I in? Maybe your season right now is planting, developing discipline, building habits, strengthening your faith. Those seasons rarely look impressive from the outside, but they are the roots that hold your life together later. Ecclesiastes says something beautiful. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Not instantly, not according to trends, in its time. Which means you don't have to win every moment. You don't have to chase every opportunity. You don't have to prove yourself to the world every week. Sometimes the wisest thing you can do is stay faithful in the season God has given you. Plant when it's time to plant. Wait when it's time to wait. Build when it's time to build. Because the person who trusts God's timing will eventually experience something the world cannot manufacture: peace.